Hello everyone, my name's Katie and this is my kitchen garden right on the Welsh border in the UK. It's currently the 21st of April and it's rather early in the morning, but let's start the April garden tour. So it's only obviously been a month since the last tour video, but I feel like things have changed so dramatically. And the first difference is that all 4 beds are dug. They are done, completely done. I finished that last little bit, which I was desperate to do for what seemed like absolutely ages now. I finished it. I raked all 4 beds, so yeah, they're all done. And we've started to plant things out as well. So it's starting to fill up a little bit, which is really exciting. Really exciting, it's nice. I mean, the weather's improving. Spring feels like it's finally here, even though it's still a little bit chilly, you know, in the mornings. We did actually have, we had a light frost yesterday morning, and then a couple of mornings ago we had quite a heavy frost for this time of year. So yeah, it's still a little bit cold, but the sunshine has appeared. Hallelujah. And we've had a few really nice warm sunny days, which just makes such a difference. And now that we're starting to plant things out, it's just starting to look nice, which is good. And we seem to be on top of things at the moment. The garden show season starts soon, so that will probably change. Probably won't look this nice all summer because we'll just be so busy. But for now we're on top of things, which is good. So let's start with this bed, which is the potato bed. All the potatoes have been planted, every single one of them. I think I was up till it got dark planting them because I was desperate to get them all in. So they've all been planted. They were all planted on the 31st of March. So yeah, they're all in. We have, what do we have? 3 rows of King Edward. Oh no, 4 rows. 4 rows of King Edward. I can't even remember what I've put in. So 4 rows of King Edward. Then there's 2 Maris Piper, 2 Desiree, and then we just have 2 rows of the salad early crop potatoes. So we have 1 row of International Kidney and 1 row of Charlotte. But yeah, so that bed is done. It's finished. They haven't popped up yet, which is quite good because, like I said, we've been having a few frosts. But if they do, we will just earth them up and that will protect them from any frosts. So yeah, that's done. The rhubarb is also looking spectacular, but we can't harvest any because we planted 3 of them. We planted 3 new ones last year, and we also split up a crown when we moved here last year. And we're supposed to leave rhubarb for 2 years until you harvest from it, just so it can put all the goodness into developing that nice healthy crown. But yeah, it's teasing us. It's looking very nice. I did plant a new one because one of the crowns which I split last year didn't make it. So I bought a new one from a garden centre the other day. I think I've written the variety down. Stockbridge Arrow, that one's called. So yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rhubarb. Hopefully we'll be able to harvest from them next year. The same goes for the asparagus. It's teasing us. But with asparagus, you can't pick it for, I believe, 3 years. But it's there. It's there, it's growing, it's doing fine. That's all that I need. I mean, it would be nice to harvest it, of course it would be. But just knowing that, you know, they've survived and they're doing okay is good news. It's good news. I mean, I don't know if you can see this one here. Oh, look at it. I mean, I can taste it. I love asparagus. I absolutely love asparagus. So we've got 16 crowns here. But yeah, like I said, we won't be harvesting them until the 3rd year. I think it's 3 years you leave them. So yeah, the only thing we have in this bed still is the asparagus this end, and then the garlic on the far end, which is doing fine. It's doing fine. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's doing fine. I obviously don't know if the bulbs have split. So I'm hoping we've had enough frosts to make the bulbs split. Anyway, time will tell with the garlic. But this will be like the brassica bed and sweet corn and the pumpkins. So we've sown the brassicas and the sweet corn and the pumpkins and the squash and things. We've sown all of them. But yeah, they won't be planted out until mid-May, near the end of May. I think our last frost date here is nearly the end of May actually, which is quite late. But yeah, so nothing is really in this bed apart from the asparagus, which we can't pick, and the garlic, which is not ready. But it's raked, it's waiting, and it's ready to go. So yeah, that's those 2 beds. Let's talk about the front 2 beds next. I'm still so happy that I've managed to finish digging this little bit, because like I said, it seemed to take forever to do. But yeah, so this bed is starting to fill up now. At the far end, I mean, we've got the lavender along here, and then I sowed 3 rows of Swiss chard rainbow lights. I sowed them direct. When did I sow them direct? Oh, on the 6th of April. So there's 3 rows of the Swiss chard there, and then there are 3 rows of onions and 1 row of shallot. They were only planted out last weekend. I did it with my nephew. So he stayed with us for the weekend. He's 8 years old. He's very much into his computer games and his phone. So it was nice to be able to get him outside in the garden and to actually see him enjoying it. Like, he absolutely loved planting these out. I thought he was only going to last about half an hour until he got bored and went back inside to go on his phone. But he planted out all 4 rows with me. And then we stayed out and we did some painting on the table and chairs by the shed. So yeah, it was really nice to get him outside, and he seemed to have fun. He's really looking forward to harvesting them actually later on this year, so that's good. But yeah, we have 1 row of Stuttgarter, 2 rows of Red Baron, because we really like red onion, and then we have 1 row of shallots, which are called Red Sun. Next to them will be 3 rows of leeks. They are currently still growing in pot in the polytunnel, but there'll be 3 rows there, and then there'll be a nice row of flowers here. And I have already planted out 2 wigwams of sweet peas, so there's a wigwam at the far end as well. So there's sweet peas in there. I think they're called green finger. I've grown the variety before, and they're beautiful. They are beautiful. So yeah, there's 2 wigwams of sweet peas, and then I've planted out some cornflower, which was originally being grown just because they're pretty flowers. They are very pretty flowers. I love growing cornflower. They're really good at drying as well. But then I was introduced to the most delicious tea in the world, which is Earl Grey and cornflower tea. It's my absolute favourite. So now I will be harvesting the cornflowers, drying the petals, and then using them for my tea. And I will talk about the tub a little bit later on, my little tea tub. But yeah, so there's some cornflower growing there. I've also sown about a metre worth of poppies. I love poppies. Do you know what I like most about poppies? The seed heads. Because poppies don't usually last that long, do they, the flowers? But the seed heads are gorgeous. And then I think I'll be sowing 3 other different varieties of flowers here, which are currently growing in the polytunnel. But it'll probably be Amimagus. I have a few growing, so I haven't really decided what I'm going to put there yet, but there'll be flowers. It'll be pretty. And then the next part is split into half. So the back half will be 4 rows of celery. The front half will be 4 rows. 1 row of celeriac, 1 row of fennel romanesco, which I sowed yesterday. And then there's 2 half rows of beetroot, Bolt Hardy. And I sowed 1 row of beetroot on the 6th of April. And I'll sow the second row maybe in a couple of weeks' time, just so we've got a nice successional crop there. I don't like beetroot, but my dad does, so that's just for him. And then we had the carrots and parsnips, which we sowed nearly a month ago now. And then, yeah, I think we're going to sow another row of carrots maybe this week. And then there'll be 1 more row of carrots. That's that bed done. This bed is the bean bed. This is all empty at the moment, all empty. But we do have some broad beans here. So we have 2 rows of broad beans, which are starting to come up. They look really nice and healthy. And then we also have the double row, of peas, green shaft peas. They're a bit patchy actually, so I think we're going to either sow some more in the polytunnel to transplant out, or just sow some more direct. I think animals have eaten them, but yeah, it is what it is. So we've got 1 double row there, and I think my dad's going to sow another double row today, but there'll be 5 rows of peas altogether. And then we're going to sow the runner beans. Oh, they've been sown actually in the polytunnel in some root trainers. So they've been sown. Again, they'll be planted out in May. And then there'll be 2 wigwams with borlotti beans, which I sow direct. 3 courgettes in the middle, and some climbing pumpkins, which again have all been sown in the polytunnel in pots. So yeah, like I say, we seem to be on top of things at the moment. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see things in the ground, and yeah, it's a very exciting time of year, isn't it? But now let's head into the polytunnel, and yeah, I'll show you what's growing inside there. So welcome to the polytunnel. And as you can see, the broad beans are the star of the show. They are looking absolutely amazing. They're just looking so healthy, which is great. There's so many flowers on them. We have recently tied them up, which we should have done a while ago now actually. But yeah, we tied them up so they're nice and supported. We pinched the tops out, so all the focus can now go on producing those delicious beans, instead of growing up and up. But yeah, really happy with the broad beans. They're looking really, really nice. Really nice. And hopefully we sort of timed it right so that we'll be harvesting these. The ones outside should be growing nicely. And hopefully there'll be a time when these will be finished, but then we'll start harvesting from the ones outside. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if it's going to turn out that well, but yeah, they're doing really, really well. The potatoes are also looking really healthy. So we planted these out on the 27th of January, and we have been earthing them up. So yeah, they're looking really, really good. There's 4 rows there. They are International Kidney, which is obviously Jersey Royal potatoes. But yeah, fresh, homegrown. new potatoes with lashings of butter. Can't wait. So we also have 3 rows of lettuce here. There's Lollo Rosso, Little Gem and Butterhead. Again, they're probably ready to pick from actually. They look really nice. What we need to do actually, we should probably do that today, is sow some more so that we have a nice successional crop of the lettuce. But we have sown some spring onion, white Lisbon spring onion, so that's growing there. But yeah, this will all be salad and sweet peppers at some point. But for now, it's where the seedlings live because they have nowhere else to go. So yeah, we've got seeds growing, seedlings. Yeah, they're here, they're growing. They're they're there. That's where they live. But yeah, that'll all be salad at some point. And we also have a little bit of a nursery bed at this far corner. Now this is where the luffa and the melon will be going, so they won't be planted out for a while now. So yeah, it's a nursery bed at the moment. It's where we've sown the brassicas. So we've sown them direct into the polytunnel, and we have some cabbage, red cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower and sprouts all growing nicely there. They seem to be germinating fine. So when they are ready, we will just transplant them outside into the brassica bed. And then yeah, that's that. This will all be tomatoes. At some point they are growing here quite slowly. There was cabbage here, it went to seed, so we've been feeding it to the chickens. The rocket has gone to seed, so that will be fed to the chickens. And there's 2 humongous lettuce at the back there, which will also be fed to the chickens because they're very spoilt. But we do have 2 rows of carrots here, so if need be, we can always harvest them as sort of baby carrots. But like I said, the tomatoes aren't quite ready to go out yet anyway, so that's fine. There's also a row of carrots here which we have been harvesting from. They've been very, very delicious. And then there's a row of radish which I've split in half. So the back half was sown on the 14th of March. They're probably nearly ready to harvest actually. And then I have recently just sown some more in the front half. Again, that will just be sown successionally. I love radish and cheese. It's just lovely. So yeah, I'll be sowing that all year long. But that is basically the polytunnel. I will not walk around the fruit area. Not a lot's changed. It's still covered in the black plastic to suppress the weeds. The bushes are looking really good though. They're starting to green up. The raspberries are looking really nice and healthy. So yeah, we're just sort of letting the fruit do its own thing. And then maybe in the autumn or, you know, around the winter time, I can put some focus on the fruit cage, build the fruit cage and, you know, put bark on the floor and things like that. But yeah, I'm not worrying about the fruit at the moment. But yeah, that's it. Let's head on down to the orchard because I have some new chickens to introduce you to. Hi girls. Are you behaving? Hey, are you behaving? So yes, I have 3 new additions to the flock. They are in sort of quarantine at the moment, and I'll explain why in a few moments. But yeah, so 3 new chickens. I have a new Buff Orpington called Ginny to keep my other Buff Orpington company, who is called Molly, because obviously Ginny and Molly Weasley. And then I have my beautiful white Silky, who is called Hedwig. I love her. She's so sweet. And then there's also this exotic looking pigeon, which is a crested Polish bantam, which is my nephew's. He chose her. I would not have chosen her. I mean, she's lovely looking, but yeah, that's my nephew's new chicken. So he has 2 chickens now. She is called Nebula. His other chicken's called Mantis. He likes Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, there's 3 new chickens in there. They are so lovely. They're the sweetest chickens. I absolutely love them. But at the moment, so they've been here about a week now, and I knew there was going to be some sort of pecking order. Like I knew it. It's natural. It's natural. And I don't know if I'm just being over dramatic, but I have had to intervene a couple of times. So at the start, I only introduced them while I was there. I never left them alone. But the hybrids are evil. They're horrible. Like it's made me wish that I had just got a flock of Orpingtons and Silkies, because Molly doesn't care about the new ones at all. Actually, the top hen, where is she? Fleur, she doesn't care either. But the hybrids, and actually Minerva, the Speckledy, she's the main bully. But Minerva, so she'll start to peck one of the new ones, and then like 2 or 3 other chickens come over because they're screaming. And then, I have to intervene because it's so aggressive. It comes across so aggressive, and I hate it. Like, I don't like seeing animals being hurt. I can't do it. I can't do it. So at the moment, I'm keeping them in this crate. So at night time, they stay in this crate, and I put them in my shed to sleep. And then about 6:30, I come down. I let I let the old ones out the run. And I keep the new ones here in the orchard so they can sort of faff around and get to know each other through the cage. Then at about 10 o'clock, I put the cage into the run. So I let the new ones out into the run. They have the full use of the run by themselves while the old ones are in the orchard. And then I have been spending about 45 minutes in the afternoon sitting in the run and letting them all together. But it's just so aggressive. And I mean, it's not all the time. It's not all the time. I've only had to interfere twice. And like I said, I don't know if I'm being over dramatic, if I should just let them get on with it. But I think for maybe another week, I will keep doing what I'm doing and just introduce them slowly. But it's so hard to watch. But I love the new chickens, and I'm sure over time they will settle in nicely. But it's just going to take a little bit of time, I think. So that's the chickens. I probably rambled on too much about them. Let's have a little look at what's going on in the orchard at the moment. So the orchard is starting to come to life, which is really nice to see, actually. Like I said before, only time will tell if the wildflower meadow seed, which we sowed last year, has actually worked. But at the moment, it's starting to green up. The grass is growing back. I mean, it's looking greener, which is good because we thought the chickens had ruined it completely. That's good. That's great. The blossoms are also starting to come on all the apple trees, which is a lovely, lovely sight. The only one which hasn't actually got any blossoms or many buds at all, really, is the apple right down the bottom by the chicken run, which is a cider apple. So I don't know if that's a little bit different. But there are some buds there, so it's doing fine. It just hasn't really blossomed as well as the other ones. And also the daffodils have popped up. They've bloomed, which is good. So I only planted a few around each tree, and hopefully, over the years they will sort of grow more and more and look lovely. But there's a robin. But that's about it for the orchard, really. The edible hedging, which I planted around, is also growing really nicely. I've taken the cover off of the chicken run because we're supposed to have a few nice days. I thought it would be nice to get some sunshine in there. I still haven't decided about the bees. I'm going on the last beekeeping lesson this afternoon, actually. We're going to suit up and go in the apiary, so I'm really excited about that. But still haven't made a decision on whether to keep the bees or not. But I mean, there's no rush to do that. There's no rush. But yeah, that's about it for the orchard. I think the last thing I'm going to do is just quickly talk about my little tea tub and show you my new little seating area, which I am in love with. I'm so in love with this little set. I mean, it's an old patio set, and it was in a different part of the garden, but I moved it down here because we get a nice bit of sunshine here, like all day. And I think it's going to stay. I think it's going to stay here. It looks really nice. I actually love the way it looks with the shed and with the old galvanised tubs and things. I think it just suits this area. So yeah, I think it's going to stay. And I do use it quite a lot. So I have a nice little morning routine now where I wake up really early. I come down to sort the chickens out, but I bring my morning cup of tea with me and a book. So if it's raining or if it's cold, I'll sit inside the shed. But if it's a nice morning and it's nice and sunny, I'll sit out here with my morning cup of tea and my book, and I just read a couple of chapters before work, and I absolutely love it. Like, it's only for like half an hour, but it just sets me up for the day, and it's nice and peaceful, and the world hasn't woken up yet. And it's just me and my tea and my book, and it's perfect. I mean, I wish I could do it all day. But for that little half an hour before work, it just really sets me up for the day, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, that's my little morning routine now. So the set is definitely staying here, And my little daffodil and tulip tub just makes me smile every time I walk down to the shed. It's looking so beautiful. I'm so happy with it. The daffodils are on their way out, and some of the tulips are also on their way out. But there's some which are waiting to bloom. I think they're called Windham tulips. They are waiting to bloom. But yeah, I'm so happy with it. So happy. I need to plant up more pots, really. Which is what I'm going to do, actually. Later today, I've got my herbs ready to plant into my tea tub. So this is going to be the official tea tub for my herbal teas. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner, honestly. I don't know, but this is all ready to go. So I filled like the bottom half up with some old turfs, and then I put a couple of bags of peat-free compost on top, and I've got my herbs here waiting to go in. So I've got 2 chamomile, because I love chamomile tea with a little bit of honey. I also have a lemon balm and a peppermint. And I know they are quite invasive, but they're so easy to look after when you put them in a tub. I mean, if they start to get too much, too overpowering, take them out, split them up, put them back in. It's that simple. You can keep on top of it so easily. And then the last 2, which are going in there, are these 2. Bergamot, which I'm so excited about. I had to order these specially online because I just couldn't buy them in the shops. I love bergamot. I think it's in Earl Grey, isn't it? But yeah, very excited about these 2. So those 6 herbs will be going in the tea tub, and then I can harvest them and dry them and add them to my teas. Very happy about it. So yeah, I'll plant them out later today. I think the last thing to really mention is that rather ugly looking strip which is going through the kitchen garden and up the path, which is where we laid the water pipe and the electric. So obviously when it was put in, it was covered back up, and then there was like a mound of dirt like going round the kitchen garden. We've raked that off, we've rolled it, and we've lain some grass seeds, so hopefully that will grow this year, and it will look a little bit better. And then we have a tap. So the tap will obviously be attached to the big shed once we build it here, but for now we've just set up like a temporary wooden post to put the tap on. But it's so nice to have running water. I mean, for the chickens, but also for the polytunnel. And I mean, it will just be so handy in the summer just to attach the hose pipe to and to water everything. It's going to make life so much easier. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to go and collect the chicken eggs, which I haven't collected this morning. They're still laying about 5 a day, which is nice, delicious. So I'll go and collect them. I'll go and have some breakfast. And then I'm going to start some gardening before that beekeeping course later today. I'm going to get my herbs in as well. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed that. And I will see you all soon.